Greig Wilson. Greig, welcome to the show. Thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning, Michael. Thanks for having me.
Now, you've got, just to explain to our listeners, how many bars do you actually own or manage?
So we've got 4 bars currently in central Wellington, and we're in the process of building a 5th bar.
So that would suggest to me that, despite all the suggestion that, that there's death and destruction in the bar sector, for you to go and build a 5th bar suggests that there's money still out there to be made and there's plenty of variety still able to be accessed.
Yeah, well, 100%. There's still opportunities, and people are always looking for something new and exciting in Courtenay Place, and Courtenay Place really needs reinvigoration at the moment. What you've got in Courtenay Place is a number of bars closed down over the last couple of years, and really I think Courtenay Place is at a point in time where it's probably in its worst state for 20 years.
Oh, it's a disaster.
Absolutely.
I've never seen Wellington look... Wellington used to be a grey, drab city full of civil servants who are doing nothing much, sitting around in grey suits and grey shoes and getting on a bus. And then, as you know, there was that magnificent rejuvenation of Wellington, late 90s, early 2000s.
The heydays.
Yep, The Hobbit and all that sort of stuff, Lord of the Rings, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
I come back now and it's just, I keep on saying to people, what happened? What did happen?
Yeah. Oh, it's incredible. There's been a number of bars closed, just 5 in the last couple of months alone in central Wellington. And what we're trying to do, we're trying to build a brand new spot in Courtenay Place, investing $500,000. And you wouldn't believe it, but we are up against all the agencies. The police, Regional Public Health and Wellington City Council liquor licensing are all opposing this new licence. All opposing the licence. So our view is, what it's going to take to reinvigorate Courtenay Place is private investment, activating empty tenancies, building a vibrant destination on Courtenay Place and adding value to the street. But yet, here we are absolutely up against it. It's the biggest battle is just to get past the bureaucracy to open the business. And our view is that it's going to take private investment to turn around Courtenay Place. It can't be left to the social services and the City Council, to reinvigorate the Wellington's entertainment precinct. We've just had a court hearing with the licensing committee trying to get this liquor licence. And, and we're months behind schedule. And we still don't know whether we're going to even get a liquor licence to open this new business. And I've already spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on building it.
I've noticed you're not alone in that. I've noticed that the police are opposing taking a much more active role in opposing liquor licences, not just obviously in Wellington, Courtenay Place, but also throughout New Zealand as well. Their basic premise being that liquor causes all our social problems, so anything that sells liquor is inherently evil. Is that the sort of argument you're getting as well?
That's right. That's what we're up against. And, our belief is that it's hospitality premises that provide the host responsibility with food and a great experience for guests around entertainment and dancing and food and all that. What we're selling as experiences. We're not selling bottles of vodka by the litre. We're selling vodka by the teaspoon, basically, and providing great hospitality. But yet we seem to be put into the same sort of boat as off-licence liquor stores. But, the level of control that we have in licensed premises is far, far greater than what an off-store liquor licence has.
I've got to ask the obvious question, Greig, and I hope you won't mind me asking it. I'm sure you don't.
Yep.
Usually they also oppose it on the basis of the character of the individuals who are applying for the liquor licence.
Yes.
Is there something wrong with your character?
No. Look, we've been running bars in central Wellington for 18 years. We don't have any police prosecutions against any of our businesses, or neither do I. And we've got a good record in Wellington. There's no serious issues at our premises at all.
So if you don't have a character problem...
blanket approach.
Yes, so if you don't have a character problem, then the problem is, as I said, the sort of esoteric argument that all liquor is evil, and so we'll stop it.
Yeah.
Yes, but you're absolutely right. Wellington's vibrant bar, cafe scene is based around, I hate to say it, alcohol or its distribution. You're going over a nice glass of wine at your restaurant or your cafe, you go to a bar, you listen to some music, and you have convivial... that's why it started. Why if you're going to argue that alcohol's evil, then you might as well shut down all of the entertainment precincts of the Wellingtons, Aucklands and everywhere, mightn't you?
That's right. Try to bring back prohibition and close at 6 o'clock and wrap it up. Pull the pin on it.
Yeah.
But what we're up against, Michael, is we've got the social housing in central Wellington, buildings and office buildings that have been converted into social housing, full of people that have serious issues around, alcohol and addictions, put into the centre of the city, often next to liquor stores or opposite a park, like Te Park, where these people can hang out during the day, and they do cause social issues. They really, really do. But and so the number of social issues has increased in the last couple of years in central Wellington. But we all know why. It's the white elephant in the room is that these people have serious needs and they're not being met, but yet they're causing issues on the street. And so the bars are an easy target for that. Oh, there's alcohol in these bars. Oh, it must be your fault. But actually, it's the social housing that just got out of control in central Wellington. I don't know how they're going to turn it around, but it's just appalling.
It's a very depressing place, Wellington, now. On Saturday morning, I went for a stroll down a relatively busy, but not excessively busy, Willis Street. And then I turned into Lambton Quay. I might well have shot a shotgun down Lambton Quay because no one would have been hurt. It's a depressing... But what is that because there are too many public servants there? Or is that because... you walk past what was Kirkaldy's and then it became, was it W8, what is it, David Jones or whatever, that's closed down. But I noticed also no cafes were open on Lambton Quay. I was thinking, I'll go and get a cup of coffee. Nothing was open. On a Saturday morning, for God's sake.
Pretty depressing state, isn't it?
It is. So you're suggesting that it's been made more depressing by local government bureaucrats, by Wowser police, and by public health officials who probably get blotto themselves at home at night on their cheap liquor, but want to close you down as an establishment.
That's right. Yeah, we're an easy target. Bars are an easy target for these agencies. And, I always say it's private investment that is going to turn around empty tenancies in Wellington. The empty tenancies with covered in graffiti and the ones that have got homeless people sleeping out the front. But you don't have that outside activated businesses that are, if I get graffiti on one of our current pubs now, we're in there the next morning scrubbing it off and repainting it up and fixing up the lighting or anything that goes wrong. But unactivated tenancies are sitting there and just a beacon for antisocial behaviour. Yep.
No, on your side, 100%. Listen, the other thing I wanted to talk to you about was Mama Hooch. Because Mama Hooch is sort of the exclamation point for an issue that's been going on. Just to explain, I have a 18-year-old daughter, and so she's reached the age now where she goes to bars, and she's a sensible girl, but she still goes. And obviously one of the things she and her friends talk about is spiking of drinks and things like that. It's very much part of, if you like, their cultural lexicon. They understand, appreciate, and believe that it's a real and present danger. Mama Hooch took it to completely different levels where you had predatory assholes just, doing what they're doing. Yeah. Can I ask, though, the drink spiking in bars stuff, is it an issue that you've come across?
Oh, not really, no. It's a pretty highly unusual kind of scenario. I've heard it happen in Wellington, over the years, but it's pretty far and few between, to be honest, in Wellington. But gosh, what an appalling case in Christchurch, wasn't it? Absolutely appalling case. One thing that we've brought into our businesses, Michael, in the last 12 months is a new tool to help us improve behaviour with patrons, and it's called Patron Scan. I'm not sure whether you've seen it.
No.
But it's a system that started off in New South Wales in Australia. And so your customer rocks up to the door and they pull their ID out and it gets scanned through a machine, and it flags if there's been any issues with that patron in the past at any other bars that also had Patron Scan. So someone comes up to the bar, they get scanned, they come in the door, and if they've been removed for unruly behaviour from another business that uses Patron Scan, it goes ding ding, it flags up on the screen, and it has notes in the system saying, this guy was removed for using inappropriate behaviour towards females or whatever it was. And then the security guy can make a call whether or not to let the person in. And so that's been an incredible tool, and that's something we've just bought in the last 12 months.
Have you used
quite a number of bars? Yeah, we do. Yeah, we use it every night past 10 o'clock. And so there's about 8 or 9 bars in Central Wellington using this tool now. And it's incredible. So if this person goes, even if they go to another bar that I don't own, but we'll ban this person for inappropriate behaviour or whatever it was, they'll get flagged, and then that person won't be allowed into that premise as well. And so it's an incredible tool that really has allowed us to improve behaviour inside licensed premise. And if someone is banned for a few months for inappropriate behaviour or whatever it is, they practically beg us on a Monday to have a meeting to talk about it so we can remove the ban, because otherwise it ruins their social life, in central Wellington. And if they go to Sydney or Melbourne or somewhere else in the world that uses the same Patron Scan, they won't be allowed into those bars either.
Wow. Now, I can imagine upmarket bars like yours would do that, because you go, well, there's nothing worse than 2 or 3 people ruining it for everybody else, and then you get a reputation from that affects your clients.
100%.
But the kind of bars you're talking about, are you my upmarket bars, or are we talking?
Oh, yeah, no, we've got a pub, Eva Pub on Dixon Street. I wouldn't say it's our market.
Oh yeah, I know Dixon Street. Yep. So okay. And how many people are you barring a week from using that?
Not that many. Like, it's probably 1 or 2 a week. And what happens though is, Michael, is that they tell their mates, right? So if they've been banned from that business for 3 months and on the Patron Scan system, they tell their mates. And all the mates go, oh, shit, okay, well, we better make sure our behaviour's on point, otherwise we're going to get banned, you know? And so over a period of time, the number of incidents in the bar, no matter how minor, has just fallen off a cliff.
I imagine I can know what's going to happen next, and you do too. Somebody's going to go to Victoria University Law School and argue that their civil rights have been infringed.
That'll be the next thing.
Yeah, it will be.
No, I'll let you know when that happens. But we have a little disclosure thing out the front of the premise. They can scan like a little QR code, and it brings up all how we use the data, and so it's up to them whether they want to
take
enter the premise or not. But that's right. It's under those conditions, and it also helps the police too. So if we've had an incident a while ago where a person like wearing a red hoodie or a red hat or whatever played up, and inside the venue, we removed him, we recorded notes in the Patron Scan system, then half an hour later the police turned up and said, have you seen the guy with the red hoodie? He was causing issues at the bar. Yep. Then we dialed it up on the system, and here's a photo. It takes a photo of the patrons as they come into the premise, an individual. And so then we up, we knew what time that he came into the premise, so we looked at our security cameras, identified him, looked at the time, and then dialed up his ID details on the Patron Scan system, and were able to actually pass on to the police his details.
Okay. As I said, you'll have the civil writers after you, but it's the old argument. It is the old argument, though, isn't it? That if you're if you're okay, what's the problem here? It's a bit like CCTV 100%. Cameras.
That's it, because 99% of people are actually really, really, really good. There's no problem at all. Most people are really, it's the 1% thing, right?
Yeah.
The 1% of people that cause the issues are about 99%.
Yeah. And finally, I'm interested in Wellington, the wider issue there. We've just talked about the decline of the capital city as not just a venue, but as a lifestyle as well, and I guess that's reflected in house prices. I don't know. I'm sure you've caught up with this though, but house prices in Wellington over the last 3 years have dropped more than anywhere else in New Zealand, of all the major provincial and rural cities as well, or areas as well. And I guess that's a reflection on quality of life too. Is there any hope? Is there any beacon of light happening anywhere in Wellington to suggest that it might be able to regain its past glory?
Well, I'd like to think so. We are seeing some new apartment buildings still being built in central Wellington. We've got the new convention centre opening up pretty soon as well. So there's some glimmers of hope there on the horizon, and that's what keeps us investing into new sites. Because I believe in Wellington is a great city, and it has been a great city in the past, but we've got to bring it back. And it's up to individuals and business owners and the council, to work together to rebuild the city.
Now, very quickly, I don't usually allow this to happen, but I've been impressed. Tell me, what are the bars that you are, so that if you're heading to Wellington, you can head to your bars?
Yep.
Which ones have you got?
So we've got Vinyl Bar. You'd like Vinyl Bar on Courtney Place, Michael. Plays all the old school music, 60s, 70s and 80s. Then next door to that, we've got Say Lady, which is the younger person's bar. And then on Dixon Street, we've got Eva Pub. And next door to that is El Barrio Latino Bar, and number 5 we're opening is called Saint Diablo. Well, we hope to open and we get a bloody liquor licence.
So what sort of theme will that have?
It's a Mexican theme, Mexican cocktails, like a cocktail bar, and eatery.
Okay.
Yeah, just a really fun, vibrant, colourful Latino sort of type.
So why would the police be opposing that if you are actually doing what you say. You've got some sort of cocktail, upmarket cocktail bar plus eatery.
Yep, so the police are saying that the amenity and good order of Courtney Place has reached a point where it's in disarray, is basically what they're saying. And so they're saying that the alcohol sort of reached a saturation point on Courtney Place.
Were they there? I mean, God! I mean, there are half the bars on Courtney Place that there were 20 years ago. So, are they joking?
Well, that's the thing. There's less bars. There's still the same number of people going out, but less bars. And actually, bars are like a safe haven for people to go into and drink in a controlled, managed environment.
Yeah,
you know, you've got Patron Scan on the door. We know who these people are.
Yeah.
We've got security on the door. We've got trained staff to look out for intox and provide food and help them with organised safe transport. Like, there's a safe environment. You know, we're not selling, as I said to the police, we're not selling litres of bloody vodka by the litre, we're selling it by the teaspoon. And we're not selling, we're not really selling, I don't sort of view us as selling alcohol, we're almost like selling hospitality, you know, we're selling an experience.
Yeah,
that's what it's about.
Yep. Okay, good on you. Best of luck to you, Greig. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks very much, Michael.
Okay,
Cheers.
good on you.